School Host Club video. So today we are going to talk about Tamaki Suo.
So, like usual, let's start with a little bit of background on Tamaki.
So his father is this important Japanese businessman, while his mother was this French aristocrat. They were in love,
But his father was already married, and it was a marriage for a business deal.
Yeah, it wasn't like love. It was basically an arranged marriage, but he still wound up having Tamaki.
And Tamaki lived with his mother in France for a good majority of his childhood.
And most of his teenage years. But then his mom got sick and her family wound up losing all their money. So his grandmother, his father's mother, made a deal. Since his dad didn't have any other kids, Tamaki would go live with them in Japan, never see his mother again, but his mother would be taken care of for the rest of her life. So he went to Japan, and
he went to go live with his dad and his grandmother in Japan. Although
I don't think his grandma actually lives with them. I'm not too sure about that.
I don't remember if this was brought up in the anime or not, but I read that they had 2 mansions on their property, and she wouldn't let him live in the main mansion. He was in the secondary mansion with himself and some servants.
Probably better that way. She's not the nicest person ever.
His grandmother is very stern and I feel like she does definitely look down upon him because he's a love child.
Maybe she's a bitch. So she acts like a bitch. Pretty simple.
But no, he ends up attending Ouran Academy, where his dad is the chairman. And
no, we don't find that out until much later. It's funny. But
he befriends Kyoya, or Kyoya, I'm sorry.
He basically just attaches himself to Kyoya, and then they eventually become friends. Kyoya is pretty annoyed with him for a majority of this series, because Tamaki does shit that's just like, even everybody else, it's not just Haruhi, they all are like, why on occasion to him? And everything he does makes perfect sense to him, it's just everyone else doesn't get it.
Which is, I think Kyoya's dad made him kind of befriend Tamaki.
Made him hang out with Tamaki because it would be a good, political friendship, I guess, but...
But they
became friends for real eventually because Tamaki was that persistent.
So, eventually, he meets the twins, Hikaru and Kaoru.
First, when it's just with Kyoya, he decides to form the club because he wants to make more friends, and then he meets the twins, Hikaru and Kaoru, and then
who are a year below him,
Mori and Honey, although I don't know what order he actually met them in.
I don't either,
but he interacts with them and convinces them to join the host club. So that's his background.
That's Tamaki before Haruhi.
He was also the last person, aka the one to walk in on her changing, to figure out that she was a girl. Everyone else figured out throughout events.
But so Tamaki serves as the president of the Ouran High School Host Club.
Kyoya is really the one in charge.
Yeah, Kyoya, I'm sorry, I keep messing that up. He's the secretary, he's the vice president, but he basically does all of the financial work and all that. So
I read a joke online somewhere that the book Kyoya is constantly writing in is a death note. Oh god, that'd be terrible.
That would be terrible.
But it's so funny. But that's not the point. That's not the point.
Yeah, Kyoya will get his own video. But so Tamaki is what they call the princely type. He treats all the girls like basically like a lady who needs to be taken care of. He's always complimenting them.
Which appeals to a lot of the clients, because he's always surrounded by a mob. He's kind of dumb.
He is kind of dumb. Well, he appears that way, but he's actually very smart when it comes to his schoolwork. But you can't really get that just by looking at him.
It's not so much that he's dumb, he's just very naive and airheaded. Which comes off as dumb.
Naive, airheaded, and very flamboyant. Yes.
Alright, so on to the categories. Alright, so does he work as a character?
I think he does. I mean, in the beginning, I feel like he's just more of a comic relief because of his attitude.
Yeah, he's like all the other rich characters, except like taken up to the extreme.
Mm-hmm.
It's like everyone else is like at a 6 and he's at a 10. So he's like everybody else that's rich in the show, except just a bit more of all those weird traits.
He's very over the top about everything. Like, if something goes wrong, he'll actually cry about it. In that very.
Well, he tells Haruhi to not treat him like the same, like a club member.
In fact,
one episode, so she doesn't really have. So when a friend of hers from middle school shows up and she's introducing him to her new friends, she's not really sure what to call him because they don't really hang out outside of club activities, and like Hikaru and Karu, they're in her class, so she can say they're friends because they hang out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to Tamaki, she just calls. It's like she pauses. She's like, I don't know what to call him, and then she just settles on acquaintance because it's simple. And he gets so upset by that, and then he starts ripping up newspapers, and Ari's like, what are you doing? Please stop that. And he's like, I'm making a hamster home. But you don't have a hamster.
Yeah.
So he takes things to the extreme.
Yeah, and he treats the host club like a family, and it's so weird. He's the daddy.
Kyoya's the mom, and he calls him mom on occasion. And he just takes it in stride.
And Haruhi's the daughter. Hikaru and Karu are the sons, and Mori and Honey are like.
Hikaru and Karu are like the neighbors.
I thought that was Mori and Honey.
No, they're cousins.
Oh. Yeah, but yeah, so.
And he's always trying to get rid of the twins. Or not so much get rid of them, but keep them away from Haruhi.
Yeah, because.
Like, he freaks out when he finds. Well, because the twins got her cell phone, and they convinced her to keep it. And he freaked out because he didn't know. And they're in each other's top 5 because, like, they're on, like, the same plan or something. Which pissed him off. And then when they had, the 3 of them, because as I said, they're in the same class, and they had to not come to the club meetings for a few days because there was this class thing they were doing, and I'll get into that, but on a different video. He freaked out because they were going to be alone together. But everyone else was like, yeah, if you gotta go to a class thing, go to the class thing. We'll see you later.
Not to mention then there's the cookie incident.
Oh my god, that still gets me. But again, that will be in another video, but needless to say, it causes Tamaki to freak the hell out. And then he freaked out when that side character fell in love with her.
Yeah.
Gasanoda, he went like catatonic. It was so funny. Oh, okay, but so yeah, so he works as a character. So does he work as a character in his setting?
Again, yes.
Pretty. In this case, as with the previous video, it's pretty similar. As I said before, he's a little out of the setting because he's like everybody else, but taken up to like 10. Or maybe 11. I'm not sure.
Maybe 11.
But, so he fits, but he does kind of not fit at the same time, because he's just more than everybody else.
Mhm.
But I don't think there's a real reason for that, it's just who he is.
It is who he is. Wait.
So,
I guess that brings us to our last category. Do we
like him?
Yes, I like, again, like we've said previously, I like that he's funny. I kind of like his over the top attitude. Because, I mean, and this might be a little stereotypical, but I think that's how they intended it. But being that he's half French, I think they're like, okay, let's make him over the top romantic and make him seem like he is a prince who wants to treat every girl like a princess. But it is nice to learn that there is more to him, because
But he didn't have this happy-go-lucky life.
No, because his father, who in a way is actually a lot like him, but you don't see that till the end, is very stern.
Or his interactions with Haruhi.
Yes.
He acts a lot like Tamaki when he meets Haruhi, and Haruhi's like, the apple didn't fall far from the tree after all, huh?
Yeah. But I think it is good to know that behind this flamboyant, over-the-top, princely type, that he really does have a really tragic backstory, because
his family life kind of sucks.
yeah, and I guess it's almost like he tries to hide behind that by acting so happy.
So you're saying he's a Stepford Smiler.
Yeah.
Okay. So, well, my opinion is, well, the story needs him. It very much needs him. But on a personal level, there are times when he kind of grates on me. But he needs to be there, and I enjoy his antics a majority of the time. So, I agree with what you said for the most part, but he's most definitely not one of my favorite members of the main cast.
No, but especially the stunt he almost pulled in the last episode.
Yeah, that wasn't in the manga, but again, we don't want to spoil, but he handles the situation very poorly.
And Haru, he's actually the one who chases after him.
Well, they all chase after him. She's just the only one that was able to make it to the end, but they're all pissed at him over it.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't show it in the anime, but because it did, that was the last episode. But I foresee them putting him through a lot of comical abuse for the shit they have to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's it for Tamaki.
Yep. So again, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in our next video for Ouran High School Host Club.
2 down, 2 to go.
Bye.
Bye.